Okay, here we go. Let's get after it.
Yep. Oh,
Oh
oh man.
man,
I know.
I'm starting to think.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think
So,
that Marvel waited for this episode
mhm.
to air on this specific day.
Okay.
Just, I'm just saying, there's something. There's just something a little different about this episode today. And welcome to PS Comics. I love you. Welcome to the um, wrap up
Mm-hmm.
bonus episode. The I
Mm-hmm.
swear this isn't a bonus episode. Bonus episode. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little trippy today. I don't know, man. It's just something must be in the air. I don't get it.
Mm.
But yeah, so we're breaking down episode 4
Of Moon Knight.
of Moon Knight. I don't know if there's a number that comes after 4. I don't
Nah.
know.
My boys Adasaurus. How was everyone doing this fine Wednesday night? I am one of your hosts of the PS Comics podcast. I love you. PS
Well,
Comics I Love You podcast. I
I
am
feel
Jared
like
Kabakun, aka the Dark King DK 420. Whoa, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
oh, we get it. Yeah, there you go. There we
Appreciate it.
go.
Oh my gosh, you really had to do it, my guy. Well, my guy to the left of me, right here, is the one and the only.
Well, I am the voice of reason at Voice of Reason 23, Kevin Pillow, and like he said, J.R. Kambakungan, the Dark King, DK. Also, not J.R. Comics 42 on
Sir.
Instagram. Other social media accounts coming at a later time.
Mhm.
And Jared doesn't know this, but I thought I'd play around a little bit with some technology, and we're going
Mm.
to see how this goes. We have a way. I'm trying to make this show, the ability to get to this show, as easy as possible. And I know
Yep.
we live in this day and age where it's all about instant gratification, instantly getting to us, which is funny because I grew up in the day and age of instant messengers with
Mhm.
AOL and stuff like that. But we do have the ability to we've talked about, you can tweet at us at PS Comics. I love the letter U on
Mhm.
Twitter. You can hit us up on Facebook. We're live now on YouTube, Facebook Watch, and Twitch.tv, all by searching out PS Comics. I love you. But I thought I'd go in there. I use a little technology called Google Voice that allows you to get a phone number. And I have it set up right now that you can just text, and that phone number that you can text us at, if you don't want to mess. By the way, if you use YouTube and Twitch and Facebook Watch, you get a little comment that'll look just like this. Thanks to our friends at StreamYard.
Hey.
If you're watching this, and we can load it up right here on our screen. But if you are listening or following us elsewhere and you can't get to the comment section, or you like doing this, because we are working on, I have actually access to a app called Amped, which is I believe it is a Amazon company,
Okay.
and I'm working on something. I haven't told JR this yet, but I'm working on a way to do live audio too.
Okay.
So we're trying to make it work. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. But you can
Yeah.
text the show. There's our phone number, 760-424-2848. That's our Google Voice app number. But it's just text.
Yeah.
Phone doesn't work.
Mm.
So I have it set up that way. So if you want to text the show, we will get those comments on the air as well. So
Yeah, man.
that'd be kind of fun. But like JR said,
Cool.
oh, that's not. I got the wrong number on there. Meaning episode number.
Episode
It is
episode number
episode
4.
4 of Moon
Mhm.
Knight,
Yep.
and I think it's fitting that on this day we celebrate the consumption of cannabis,
Mhm.
aka 420, that we got probably the trippiest episode of the series so far. But
Mm.
we got a lot of cool stuff that started off. Um, JR, this right here, I think this is an episode that a lot of collectors were probably um, hungry
Yeah,
about, or
yeah.
pretty,
I mean,
well, I think the kids these days say thirsty about. Actually, there were some collector issues in this episode.
oh yeah, yeah. It was just overall just getting into it. I'm pretty sure if those who watched the episode already, we're just gonna fucking go spoiler, well,
Oh yeah,
straight
so
out.
hold on, I gotta get out of this. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert!
it's just gonna go straight out of spoilers, man. Like the without just trying to break it down, just really get into it, man. It was a good
Yep.
episode for me. A really good episode.
Oh yeah.
It was it was weird for me because I try to watch it at night, right? And then I got the whole thing with like with the last episode where like, oh man, I don't know if I like it because it's start off with some like pretty cringy stuff for me, right? The whole Steven and Layla relationship art, right? It's weird. This whole series on Netflix is just not Netflix, from Disney Plus though, from all the Marvel shows has been weird, and just for me, this one, it just like okay, man, it's kind of cringy. It starts off that way. The pacing was weird for me in the beginning, and then I just had to sleep on it. Rewatched it in the morning, and it was good. The second half of it was really good. It felt very much like the early half of it just felt very much like the Mummy to me. The Mummy
Yeah,
with Brendan Fraser, like a little bit of a Indiana Jones Lost and the Lost Ark for me as well. It's very much the whole vibe of like, oh, archaeologist goes in the tomb and tries to find some stuff. It's a very funny, crazy enough, a pretty like bloody, gory episode for
yeah, you got a
Marvel.
little, yeah, it definitely is knocking on the door. Not quite kicking in the
Yeah,
door, but it's knocking on the door, at least of Daredevil
yeah.
level
I
of
I
violence
mean,
and gore.
yeah, I mean when you have and they haven't even tried to figure it out yet, but like the mummies, I guess, right? That was in the tomb, the undead mummies that was guarding or safekeeping whatever the pharaoh was, and what we come to find as freaking Alexander the Great, which that was a cool nod.
That was
But
cool.
like, yeah, but like when you have like one of the mummies, whatever guards, take one of the mercenaries or whatever henchmen on a table and kind of gut him alive. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Like, oh, they're
that
going for
was
that. Wow.
I was that I didn't know what was going on because I didn't know if it was Arthur Harrow. I didn't know if it was Khonshu. I didn't know
Mhm.
what it was. It was another one of the gargoyles like we saw in episode one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really know
Yeah.
what to expect of that, and then it ended up being one of those like jackals or whatever it was. So
It was the thing about that though is that like it's obviously Harrow's men versus that whatever the hell that is. So
yeah,
like I don't know if it's another god trying to safekeep the tomb, right? Maybe Horus, right? Because they said that it was it to me at the very beginning just felt very much in the line of like, oh, okay, it's like archaeology dig site, very much like the Mummy or Indiana Jones, except for it's a look on Layla, which is I'm cool with. I'm cool with. What really excited me was after Ken spoiler alert, Mark gets control of the body after after Layla figures out that hey, oh shit, you were there, my dad got killed, and that's the reason why I'm together. You have a guilty conscience. He gets shot in the head. Mark gets shot in the head by Harrow, by Harlow, and then for me, when he woke up in the quote unquote insane asylum, right?
yeah,
They're like, oh, okay, they're really going for 2015, 2016 Moon Knight. The
yeah.
run for that. That was it. I'm like, that was the thing I was excited for. Is like because all 2016 Moon Knight, or for a good portion the first of the early run, is like you don't know who Mark Spector is. He doesn't know himself. He like, is he just
Yeah,
really crazy? Is all his multiple personalities, just that, just like his identity disorder. So his dissociative identity disorder, and he just woke up there, and that was like, oh, they really lean into it in that part. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the hell out of the part. I was hoping for more of like, them going outside and seeing New York encased in a just flooded by like just grain, like this huge desert. That would be cool to see because that was pulled off early in the comic books, man. But who knows? Just overall, the episode it dipped for me in the beginning, and then it just picked up, and I'm like, I'm really actually super excited for the next episode. So that was really good for me.
The run that Jr. is talking about, and which has been a heavily favored um, run of Moon Knight, was a Jeff Lemire, Greg Smallwood run that
Hmm.
started in June of 2016,
Hmm.
and specifically um, the I wish I could bring in the screen that I have. So I'll try to put it on the. I'm still trying to figure out. There's a way we use Streamyard, which is a web based app
Yeah.
to stream to YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a technology to be able to share my screen here, or at least if I can bring it up on the web. But I'm just going to put it on the screen. So if you can see that, guys, as
Oh
best you
yeah.
can, it is Moon Knight. It's Mark Spector wrapped up in a straitjacket, but the way he's wrapped up, he looks like Moon Knight.
Yep.
It's a great cover.
Hmm.
Had I been into collecting at the time, I probably would have bought that
Yeah.
based completely on the cover. It's a
Hell
cool
yeah.
cover. And just to kind of, for you collectors out there, and we want to throw this in there too. And I think throughout the some of these shows that we'll do, especially the ones based on comic books, I know like with Obi-Wan coming out, maybe not so based on comic books, but with the comic books ones like this one, and then inevitably Miss Marvel in June, I'm going to try to
Hmm.
do a little bit better, and I'm going to have on the bottom, I'm going to have key issues,
Mm.
and where you can get it. I'm going to try to talk to Chick and Javel, aka Q, to see if he has some of these issues for sale, or even some of our other, so we can send some of our collector friends to, at least here in the Coachella Valley, a local comic book store. But check out your local comic book store right now, because these are hot books right now.
Yep.
Um, High grade on this Moon Knight 2016 run. High grade on this one is $30. Low
Yep.
grade, you're still gonna break even.
Yeah.
It's probably about a $3 or $4 book.
Hmm.
It's low grade, which it's a 2016 book. You would have to literally have lit it on fire for it to even be a low grade. I mean,
Yeah.
unless your local comic book store received it damaged. But
Yeah. I will also say this too.
yes, sir.
Uh, Actually, just going back to the spins of like, if it, we should prep this way beforehand. There has been if you do go to comic book stores looking for key issues, right? Don't be an asshole.
Oh
Don't
yeah, but
don't steal from people. Shout out to
to
oh
Sid.
my gosh, to Sid and oh my gosh, I forgot his name at the moment. Not Kama-sama, but his store. It escapes me at the moment.
Desert Oasis Comics,
Desert
owned by
Oasis, yeah.
Sid Johnson,
I said
who is
Johnson.
the godfather
Yeah,
of
here in the
comic
valley.
book. Yeah,
He's been around the longest out of everyone and consistently. And there was an asshole that came by his store a couple of days ago. It was videotaped. He had the gall to like unzip a lot of or like to take out a lot of the comic books and put it down his pants. And yeah, from what I saw, is like at least $100 worth of books.
yeah,
It's like the amount of don't be that guy. Please don't be that guy. Don't there's a lot of hot books coming out right now, yes, and just know that if you're a quote unquote a nobody, like we haven't seen you before, we don't know who you are, you're not a local, and you ask for these books, just know you're on alert already. Just know that we're like it would be weird for someone to come in out of the blue and say, hey, do you have this book that's super hot right now, and what time do you close? you know just don't be that person, because we will find you. So
yeah. Guys, just don't be stupid.
yeah.
It's very frustrating right now,
Yeah.
that you guys are doing this. And I understand that comics are hot right now, and it's so easy for you, in your opinion, to just kind of to do a smash and grab. But the guy, I didn't know that that's what he was doing. I thought he was doing the old like stuff it down the back of his pants. But he was, yeah, you're right. He was. Now that I see the video, he straight as up takes it out of the bag and board, rolls it up, and
A
then
lot of
like
them.
a
A
lot
lot of
of
them,
them stuffed
man.
him down his pants, stuffed him inside of his sweatshirt,
Just leaves.
um, and just leaves. And I don't think from what I gather from Sid is that he didn't know he had been robbed until he went to like he was walking through the store and saw like
Mhm.
the bag and boards on the ground.
Mhm.
And Sid has a lot of
Yeah.
old back issues.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the king of back issues.
Yeah.
If you're missing a book from a run pretty much in the last decade, you're going to find it at Sid's shop. I have
Yeah.
found so much gold at his shop. I love Sid. I love his shop. I love what he does for the community.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that opens up his store for, for Free Comic Book Day, which is coming up in just a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
And he used to do carnivals with
Yeah.
Palm Springs Comic Con,
He does a lot.
and
He does
he
a
does a
lot for the
lot.
community.
So it's like, dude, come on. If you're gonna be like that, just
Just don't be a
go the
freaking
fuck
asshole.
away, dude. Go steal from Walmart. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't recommend
yeah,
it.
no, it's very much that whole thing of like of when you steal from a mom and pop shop, right? It
You're stealing
stings
from
a lot
us.
more. Yeah, you're stealing from the community, man. Just don't be what that and like you're on camera, right? We know your face. You come around, it's on site. So like, don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot. Don't be that guy. And don't even. Yeah, it's dumb. And for our listeners out there, I'm not saying that I'm not pointing any of you out, but like, just know, right, that this stuff has been going on a lot more rapidly in the last couple of months now, man. Because hey, yeah, it's the economy is coming back, and people are trying to spend money at the same time. People don't have money, and they're trying to just steal shit, and so it sucks for that. It's just not happening to not just only our store, man, but it's been also happening to a lot of other stores out in the valley, or even out in like the out in closer to LA. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's super not crazy, but it's just like crazy to think that a lot of this crap is happening right now.
It just sucks, especially with like I said with the the amount of content's coming out here, and comic books, like I said, are kind of hot with certain issues. By the
Yeah.
way, if you want more information, go to at Desert Oasis Comics on Instagram. The video shots are there.
Idiot.
If
Man.
you got extra time this week, throw Sid some love.
Yep.
And like we always tell customers that we send everywhere, if you can, pay in cash.
Yep.
Sid and Steven at Sid at Desert Oasis, Steven at Interstellar, Chicken Q at Desert Comic Salem. Do us a favor by having a credit card machine, but it costs them money. Being someone that works in retail and works for a small business, it's a big portion. It's a big portion of your bills every month is paying that credit card transaction.
Yeah.
And so if you guys can pay cash. And I'm telling you right now, you want to hook up, they will hook you up if you pay cash.
Yeah.
Don't go in there looking for it, but they appreciate you guys paying cash. And so, like I said, if you guys are going to go throw some love this way, throw some love to Sid and Desert Oasis.
Yeah.
But
going back to the episode at hand, man, as well as like the future things we're gonna do with the podcast. Like, of course, it's awesome to see that Kevin here wants to really go down and look at collector issues, man. That's crazy. But yeah, just overall the episode, for me, the whole actual series feels more like as a Layla focus too, which I'm fine with, right?
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. She has shown herself to be way more capable, and that's cool. It's a natural progression of who she is, and so this is how you properly do female characters. She's brought in, doesn't need to be helped or anything like that. She is there she can fail, but at the same time, she is capable of being human. Yes, granted, she whoops a lot of ass.
Oh, yeah.
But she's able to. You see some of her mistakes in the show, and that's great. That's cool. We see a lot of Mark's mistakes in the show too, Mark and Stevens, and it's good to have that because it makes them a much more believable character. Granted, with Mark and Steven, there is one body with two minds, possibly three minds, considering the fact that the type of sarcophagus we saw in his mindscape, right, in that room.
Yeah.
Like okay, so again, we're talking about the episode again. Near the end of the episode, right? Mark escapes from his psychiatrist visit with Harrow.
Yeah, so Arthur Harrow is kind of being is playing a psychiatrist, and
which is great. That's from the comics, which is great. That's from the run, 2016 run. I fucking love that.
Well, in the aforementioned book, which by the way, one of the reasons is a key issue, not only that it's referencing in this series, is the first appearance of Dr. Emmett, the psychiatrist who frees or treats Mark Spector.
Yep.
Now, Dr. Arthur Harrow,
different,
who is Ethan Hawke's character,
is
I think inevitably is probably going to be the avatar of.
Yeah,
was it Amat?
Yeah,
which is the alligator god.
Yeah, and so I feel like that's where they're going with Harlow, because we said before in a previous episode, Harlow was like one and done, right? He was a one and done character, and then you have a new character taking in. Of course we've seen this too, where we've seen other characters, right? Newer characters or older characters, right? Take the position of another quote unquote, established character per se. When this is fine. For me, this is fine. It's Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke is great. It's just good to have him in the MCU, and he's convincing. I'll say that he's super convincing. He just it's crazy to me that the dude's 50, man, and he looks. I don't know. I don't want to say he hasn't aged well, but dang, he looks old. I'll just say that.
He does, and I don't know. And I've seen him do interviews for this show, and I think he's still kind of in Harlow or Harrow mode, so to speak.
Yeah.
But here's a guy, Ethan Hawke, he's one of those actors who doesn't do a lot.
Yeah.
But when he does, it's impactful. And seeing him in that scene in the tomb where they find Alexander the Great and Mark Spector is shot. I think he gets shot twice in the chest before
shot in the chest. I thought he gets shot in the head too, didn't he?
No, he fucked somebody up in the head with an axe, which was whoa! Are we watching Hulu or are we watching Disney Plus?
Which is great. Which is great to see a lot of the blood. But
I married an axe murdered someone, like 2 or 3 guys. But no, there was a moment where he's walking up and he's doing a bit of a monologue, and I just kind of sat there and was in awe. I wouldn't say I'm a huge Ethan Hawke fan, but I enjoy his work. I think it's no secret that at least one of my favorite performances by him, and might be JR's, is the movie he did with Denzel when he
Training Day. Yeah.
Just absolutely fantastic film. By the way, if you haven't seen that, that's on a must-watch list. I can't say I'm a massive Denzel Washington fan, but that movie is pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean that was the year too. Going back to the Emmys, where both he and Halle Berry won Best Actor and Best Actress.
And I forgot that happened.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of it had to do with the obvious that Halle being the first Black actress to win Best Female Actress, the first Black person to win that award. Because she was not the first Black female to win the Oscar. That went to I can't think of her name now. I really apologize, but it's the lady who was in Gone with the Wind back in 1940.
Yeah, way back when. Yeah,
that was the first overall. I was first African American to win
an Oscar,
to win an Oscar, and of course, so you know what I did? Go on an Oscar tirade real quick.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I just completely drew a blank. His name, the guy that was in The Heat of the Night.
Al Pacino?
What's that?
Al Pacino?
No. Oh my goodness. He's a Black guy.
Okay.
In The Heat. I'm gonna have to look it up on IMDb. In The Heat of the Night, Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier was the first Black man to win an Oscar. I thought he won it for In the Heat of the Night. He did not. He won it for another movie a few years before, and won the Golden Globe that year. But In the Heat of the Night was I think Rod Steiger was nominated for Best Actor, and Sydney was not nominated for either Best Supporting or Best. But I thought that was his Oscar win.
I mean,
But no, sorry, just tired. But no, going back to
yeah,
Ethan Hawke, I
yeah,
love him in this movie. I hope he ends. I don't know what else they could do with Arthur Harrow, because there's not a lot of depth to the character in the comics. There's not a lot to
yeah.
pull from. Literally, this guy has appeared in one comic book. He has had
Yep.
more airtime being played by Ethan Hawke than he's
Ever.
been written or drawn in the comics.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go have someone do a resketch. What do they call them?
Yeah.
I should have someone do a commission. Say, like, look,
yeah.
he's officially been on more covers than.
I'm pretty sure he has already, but yeah, no, just yeah, it's. I definitely think that having Ethan Hawke in your quote unquote stable would be a great thing, right?
Oh, it brings so
It-
much credibility.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Ethan freaking Hawke, man. I mean, granted, we had RDJ, but granted, RDJ had to build it from the ground up, and Chris Evans and Natalie freaking Portman. That's a big one
Mhm.
too. Black Swan, so many other freaking things that she's been in where it's been touted as a success and achievement. And so, yeah, I mean, it'd be great to have Ethan Hawke just around. Granted, I feel like his more quote unquote serious training like or serious acting roles is kind of might be honestly and sadly past him already because of just how Hollywood's Hollywood. So
Yeah.
just to have him around and like, hey man, we'll pay you whatever money you want. Just do these, Marvel movies on our streaming website. Be great. Let's do that. And Disney could definitely pay him. Like, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
and I just hope that they find something for him to do. I hope they don't kill him off like a lot of things do with villains. Because you're right, he doesn't do a lot, and I think what's great about Ethan Hawke, like I said before, is he doesn't do a lot. So when he does do something, it means something.
Mhm.
And it's so funny to see, like with Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. I think genuinely had a good time playing Tony Stark. Why not?
Yeah.
Made him multi-millionaire, multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'm sure Chris Hemsworth seems to be having a lot more fun
Oh yeah.
playing Thor now. I think.
Yeah.
No disrespect to
the previous two directors.
The previous two directors, which I enjoyed Thor 1 and Thor the Dark World.
Yeah.
But him and Taika are really just kind of
That's the
clicking.
tag team.
Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the trailer yet for Thor: Love and Thunder,
hey,
freaking fantastic!
Hey, which sucks too because I was looking to get a first Hercules, and that is gone now. It was pretty expensive to begin with, right? Because it's first Hercules.
What about first Zeus?
I mean, that's gone too. I mean,
yeah.
You know that, but like once you get Zeus, you get Hercules, and so
yeah. But I will tell you this: one of the first comic books that I got into. To take a side note, I by the way, for people have been asking, like, Kevin, do you have any Moon Knight books? I have Moon Knight Volume 1, Issue number 1. It is in my collection. It is in an undisclosed Shield location that is not my current undisclosed Shield location. But I do have that issue, which is growing every single week. And the second we get Jake Hartley or Jack, I'm sorry, did I say Jake Hartley?
Yeah.
Jake. What's his name? Jake. I completely drew a blank. But it was the third incarnation of Mark Spector.
Oh yeah.
Jake Lockley. I'm sorry, Jake Lockley.
Yeah.
That book is going to even go even more because issue 1, volume 1 of Moon Knight is the first appearance of Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley, and of course the official background, the original origin story of Moon Knight. Of course, Moon Knight's first appearance was in Tales.
Tales of Suspense.
No, it was
Dracula. Oh no, Wolf.
Marvel or Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night, yeah.
I think it's Werewolf by Night number 32 is the first appearance.
Yep.
Of Moon Knight. And by the way, I want to get your opinion on this, JR.
Yeah. Okay.
We have heard from Oscar Isaac.
Yes, sir.
And we've heard from the creators of Moon Knight the series, whether or not Werewolf by Night number 31, by the way. I'm sorry, Werewolf by Night number 32, first appearance and origin of Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one. We do know that Werewolf by Night is going to be a Halloween special for. Yeah, I saw that. I want to throw a little shout out to Melanie.
Melanie, yeah.
What the devil
What
did I just
watch?
watch?
You are currently watching the PS Comics I Love You podcast here on Facebook. Yeah, we have it's on Facebook right now. Is she a friend of yours or just?
I don't know, but welcome to the family, Melanie. And by the way, I have only but one answer to say about what you just watched.
Nerd stuff.
420.
Oh yeah, 420. Oh yeah, for thing probably. If you've been watching the Moon Knight episode, yeah, we're in the same boat. Same boat. I love it.
It was a good episode. I liked it. That ending. Can we talk? Okay, let's talk about the. Let's talk about the elephant in the room or
hippopotamus
in the room. It is the hippo god, the god of fertility. Makes her debut.
I knew it was gonna come. Like I knew that because like you saw that Khonshu's best friend or like one of his closer friends was that Egyptian goddess.
Oh, that's her. Oh my gosh, you completely forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah, bro. It's her. If anything, the voice to that. Yeah, we loved it too. The voice to her was probably was most likely gonna be the Avatar, the woman who plays her. I forgot her name at the moment, but yeah, I'm happy about that. So that means that there's possibly there's probably that is gonna be a lot more of the of her around, which is great. We need more of the Egyptian gods and goddesses around there because we need more of episode 3 where they reverse the stars back in time. We need more of that stuff, man.
I will say that moment in that episode has gotten more traction the last week. Was in the comic book store last Thursday.
Yeah, man.
Talking to the guys that own Tri-Bike, which is 2 doors down from Comic Asylum, and they were in talking to Chick. They did a little bicycle ride the other day.
Yeah,
and we were talking about it, and everyone's like, "Oh, wait, don't say anything. Has everyone seen Moon Knight?" Blah blah blah. And everyone was clear. Spoiler alert. Blah blah blah. So we started talking about it, and he's like, "Dude, can we talk about that scene with the stars? That was a trip." And I'm like, "That's probably going to go down as one of the best scenes, both of importance to the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Moon Knight series, and just from a production standpoint of being able to accomplish that and not have it be super cheesy and
it's insane. Like I said before, man, on a scale of like just power level, right? That is the strongest thing the MCU that has happened in the MCU, and this is like considering the fact that like we had a guy snap half of existence out, half of life out of existence, as well as in the What If series where you have like gods, right, just punching each other through different universes, and this is like just kind of competing against that because you're literally rewinding all of time to the point where the stars reverse. Like everything in existence sees that. That's crazy.
I'm
hoping. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I apologize. I did not mean to cut you off, JR.
I don't know, but I was just saying, like, let's hope that more of that is going to happen, man. But yeah, the hippo goddess, or let's say it's a god. It's a god. So the hippo god, Egyptian god, it's going to be a big thing. I hope we see
literally
more.
And figuratively.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be big. I have high expectations for the last 2 episodos, man. And it's
we get 2 left.
2 left. And so I'm thinking possibly we get another, maybe the last and the third identity coming by.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you catch that though? Where both Steven and Mark were going down that hallway and you see another sarcophagus just wanting to get opened?
And that, but from what we don't know for a fact because we don't see it. We see the sarcophagus is going to open up. They start to walk away, and then they turn around to be, found out by the hippo god. Is the I just realized I'm tweeted. We gotta remove that one.
It's not good.
Whatever. Wow. High Prep Sports Week. High Prep Sports Net. I tweeted to the wrong account. So what's up?
Nips?
A bunch of high school athletes are watching nerd stuff.
Hey.
Technology. God, I love it. Anyways, you're right. You bring up a good point. You don't see that sarcophagus open up. So was it the hippo coming out of the sarcophagus? Because everything was such a very dream sequence-esque in that in the end scenes. But JR, do you think it is that missing third personality that was hinted at in episode number 3?
Yeah, I was hoping. I thought I was hoping it'd be him, but it's either that one or it's probably gonna be Khonshu, right? I'm hoping they do a flip up where like we think it's gonna be Khonshu is actually the third, the taxi driver, the taxi driver identity. But we'll just see how that goes. That'd be funny, but like at the same time, it's like, how would that identity fit into this scheme now? So. Yeah, because still Steven at this point is very much like we don't know much of Steven's background. We supposedly he has a mother, but obviously he doesn't, and that someone in the original first episode, in the very first episode, someone got him a date with I forgot her name, but his coworker, and it wasn't him, obviously. So we just don't know who else is in there in Mark Spector's brain. It's just just follow me on this though. The love sequences. Actually, going back to Melanie Rogers again. I read the hippo goddess protects women and who are pregnant, which explains a grown man screaming if could be in this future. Maybe big possibility, which explains a grown man screaming if pregnancy and baby could be in the future. Dude, I've never seen two men who are the exact same guys scream so differently and such a high pitch. Man, that's interesting.
Yeah, a testament to Oscar Isaac's acting, by the way.
Yeah.
We've seen in the history of Hollywood, we've seen an actor play himself in scenes at the same time, and the trickery that has to go into shooting said scene. I think one of the people will laugh. I think one of the best examples of is a I want to give Melanie some credit. That was what Jared was talking about.
Yeah, but
was multiplicity? Was it Multiplicity with Michael Keaton?
Yeah,
where he played himself in multiple different roles.
Yep.
Just a job well done by Oscar Isaac. Having that moment. Obviously, it probably wasn't him hugging himself, but it came across that way.
Yeah, that was such a good get from Marvel, man. Just getting Oscar Isaac. Granted, he's much older too now, but like, you got his caliber of actor, that type of caliber in an actor, man, is something you need to get. And Oscar, he's always been the type of person who I've said before that he throws himself onto any roles, man. He throws himself to the role, and he loves what he does. And so, it's great to have him, and him being a full on. His second time around actually being a superhero, a demented superhero, but still. So that's just great to see. It's great to see that. And I just also go with me here. Go with me. Like I said before about the romances in this current string of Marvel TV Apple Plus show. Oh no, Marvel Disney Plus shows, man. So we start with WandaVision with a couple with a love where she's trying to get back who she loves. Then we go on to what was the next
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who's the love interest in there. I guess maybe Bucky and the sister. Probably trying to recoup or trying to understand love.
Bucky, we're trying to say Bucky and
yeah. Falcon. I mean, there was a long time too. A lot of fans trying to get Bucky and Captain and
Captain America, yeah,
Captain America. But okay, going from that, we have Loki who is in love with himself, and then now with Moon Knight, and now with Moon Knight, we have two people in one body in love with a person that they both love.
Okay,
this is weird to me, dude.
We have heard the old adage, and
Uh-huh.
I'm not advocating extramarital or extracurricular, whatever.
Okay.
The old adage was, if you're in different area codes, it's not cheating.
Oh, I'm
If you
not gonna
have
touch
multiple
this.
personalities, if you suffer from
PID.
associate disorder, what is it?
Dissociate.
Associate identity disorder.
Yeah.
And one of your, if you are Mark Spector and you are legally married to Layla, or is it Layla?
Mm.
Layla?
Layla. Yep.
Layla.
Yep.
And you have multiple personalities, which include Stephen Grant and maybe Jake Lockley. And Stephen Grant is still the same body, same blood, DNA. It's still the same body, just the personality is different. Is it cheating? I mean, I remember I asked my wife. I said, "What do you think about this? You're a woman. You're married to." And she's like, "It's different. It's a completely different personality. It would be wrong."
Mm-hmm.
I said, even though it's the same body and it, flesh to flesh, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
if they were to consummate, but she's like, it's that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I will
mean,
say this: I love that Mark Spector had enough wherewithal
yeah.
in his fight for control of the body to
Yeah.
punch Stephen Grant
In the
himself in the
face.
face. That
Yeah.
was so
Yeah. That was
great.
funny.
I
That was funny.
love the little comedy nuggets that we get from Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. It was.
Fantastic.
It was a fun episode. It was definitely again. The beginning felt like really rushed to me. Not rushed, but like it felt off
A little bit,
pace.
yeah.
Off pace for me, and then it went into that little. It went into that stride of like, all right, cool. It felt very much like a, the Mummy, Indiana Jones, or even what was another good or I felt like, yeah, like the Uncharted video games for me, where it was
Yeah.
very much that archaeologist dig thing where you're going through, you're going through some crazy, like some crazy find somewhere out in the desert, right? And then it goes into this whole thing like, oh, let me just trip you back. We're gonna switch gears. You're now in an insane asylum. That was like, all right, cool. That was my thing. Like I was hoping we see that this whole season where we get Mark in the insane asylum, because that is a thing that I read. That's what got me back into comics or collecting comics, man.
So you have that issue?
2016. I do. It's the seventh. It's the seventh print. It still has a green
Oh,
label on top, man.
you don't have a first
Not the
print?
first one, dude. The first print ones are hard to find nowadays, bro. It's
Because it
so
was probably such a low run book.
yeah, I can say that. And I also have to think the third or fourth print of the second issue. But yeah, I have a bunch of the the hip hop variants. The number one hip hop variant. So that one's going out too. So that's cool. I think the hip hop variant is actually pretty expensive now if you CGC it. And I have
A
like three of them. I have like
lot of the hip hop variants are going up.
yeah, I have three of them. I think I'm gonna send one into CGC with Jabel. To queue on them. So I'll do that eventually. Excuse me. I'm gonna do that eventually. But yeah, this episode was super fun.
They
What?
do have the hip hop. They do have the variants. Like JR said, the hard to find issue first print issue 1 of the 2016 volume. High grade's going for about 30. Second print is going for 25.
Yep.
They said that literally, retailers only ordered 5,400 copies of that book. A third print is going for $18. And like Jared said, the aforementioned hip hop variant done by artist Ricardo Lopez Ortiz, inspired by the album Oxymoron by Schoolboy Q, is high grade at $60. By the way, for those of you who did collect in about 2015, 2016, collected the hip hop variants, you may want to get your hands on a key collector app or some kind, or Go Collect or some kind of collector app. Do a little research, because the hip hop variants are white
booming
hot right now.
They're booming right now. Yeah.
Booming. Real quick, I want to give, before we wrap things up, we mentioned, and we'll probably, if we get a chance to do an episode, a regularly scheduled episode this weekend, we will talk about Thor: Love and Thunder. I think we're both going to kind of go over the trailer a little bit more, get your reaction, kind of break it down. The one thing we didn't see in the trailer, spoiler alert, was we did not see Christian Bale's God, or Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's probably a good thing, for one of two reasons. One, based on the toy leak,
Yeah.
not very comic accurate
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say.
rendition of the. It's a different. It's like a twist on a different variation of Gore. But someone brought up a good point, and I think it was on Reddit and a couple people on Twitter and stuff like that. And this ties into Moon Knight. It also ties into the Eternals and anything going forward, like Moon Knight, that deals with ancient history like this. And that is Gore the God Butcher. Number one is exactly what he says he is. He is a God Butcher. We are dealing with Egyptian gods. And one of the things, the theories I saw at the very beginning of this episode, we saw one of the Egyptian gods putting Khonshu's little stone statue on a shelf amongst dozens of others. We do know the Iliad, the little group of Egyptian gods. What was it called?
The Enad. Yeah, the Iliad is a Greek. It's a Greek play.
All right, the Aeneid, whatever it was called.
I
got that. Yeah. There were supposed to be 9 members. We only saw 7 in the previous episode, so there are some missing. Obviously, Khonshu is now in stone. There could be some other ones that are missing. Someone had hinted at maybe these are gods that were already taken out by Gore, and we'll see this addressed in Thor: Love and Thunder. Like JR mentioned a few moments ago, books featuring the Marvel first appearance of Zeus and Hercules have risen. Obviously, both are Greek gods that will allegedly, we saw kind of teasing the trailer, was Zeus. We will deal with some of the Greek gods in Thor: Love and Thunder to go along with the already present of the Norse gods of Thor, Odin, blah, 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 which actually are just
which is it's going to be interesting because of how this all ties together comic book wise, because when you're going to like trying to figure out who Gore the God Butcher is and how he became a butcher of gods per se, is that he the character of Gore, who was an alien race of a planet where it was very indigenous. He didn't know, and or they didn't have any types of technology. He goes in, he finds that 2 of these gods, or some crazy rampant plague and war has come upon his planet by outside forces. He tries to pray to God. He tries to pray to gods to save them. They don't do that. He goes to find 2 of these gods dead in the desert, and he picks up the sword. He picks up this very sinister looking black sword called the All Black, which is the Necro Sword of Marvel. And the power is transferred into him, and he's able to kill literal gods. And the crazy thing about that is the Necro Sword was originally created from Null, a Venom symbiote god. And how that ties into the current MCU is crazy, because we found out that that Venom at the end of No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. You're right.
Yeah, he is that a piece of Venom is still around there. So if it is actually the All Black sword that's there, that means they had to somehow tie into Null, the original Venom symbiote god, and that he came into being, killing literally every god made of light because they woke him up from his sleep, basically. And so if that happens, man, all bets are off. Null's gonna be a big thing, and it's gonna jump. My books are gonna jump like crazy. And
you have first print. You have first appearance, correct?
Not no more. I sold all of my. Sold all of my first print. No, here's the thing. I sold all my first print, right? But I have the third print. The third prints are the ones that you want. Where it actually has them on a throne. That's a sick cover. That's like going for like $500 right now, 500 to 600 for 9.8. And
first appearance of Gore the God Butcher, first appearance of the Necro Sword, the first symbiote created by Null, was Thor: God of Thunder. That book was from 2013. Jason Aaron, by the way, who is heavily pulled from for Thor: Love and Thunder. High grade, $222 and growing. First appearance of Null, the symbiote god, in Thor, God of Thunder, number 6, 150. First appearance of Null, the creator of the symbiote alien race, and Null's first cameo appearance is this Venom. I think I have this.
Yep, Venom 3.
Maybe Venom 3. I think I have this one.
Let me see where it shows Miles. Yeah, that's the one.
So,
yeah, that one.
I
That
think
came out in
I have this one.
2018.
I'm not 100% sure. I have to double check.
Bro, I told everyone to pick that. I told everyone to pick a bunch of those covers up, man, and no one listened to me. I picked up 6 or 7 of them, bro, and I came out.
That is a
magnetic.
Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman issue. That's a high grade at $200. You know, I'm gonna look right now.
I'm telling you, man,
I'm not sure if I grabbed, because I do remember that book coming out.
Yeah, and
the
third print. And the third print's out there too. You'll see the Nolan one. That's the one that people want. That's the one that like back during COVID, during the pandemic and the first lockdown. The only lockdown? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the early beginnings of the lockdown, where that book was going gangbusters. Like if it's a 98, like going for like $800 to $900, man. It was crazy. It was insane.
You know what? I don't have that one. The one I was thinking of, JR, was I think it's from the same run, but I have the first cameo appearance of Dylan Brock.
Oh yeah, that's number 9.
Number 7.
7. Okay.
And it's that cover is what I was thinking of.
Yep, cover.
I don't have the other one.
Yeah, the second print is the one. The second print is the one that people want, as well as the 1-for-10 variant, which I should have freaking got when that was up, man. I think Chicken Javelle was selling the 1-for-10 variant for like $15, man, and then it just jumped like crazy to like $80 to more.
What was the one you said it was the one where he's sitting on the throne?
Third print, number 3, third print.
Of that one that we were just talking about?
Yep.
Okay, so that one, let's see the one that JR's talking about. Okay, there it is. The Venom number 3, third print is dropped a little bit, but still high grade at 225, mid grade 80, low grade 25. So no matter what, if you got your hands on that book, you're going to turn a profit unless you, depending on how you put it. So that's the first full appearance of Null. That's, I do remember when that book came out. But going back real quick, the connection between all this is that, like JR said, you have a Venom symbiote is now in the wild in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
it's in Mexico somewhere. Eddie Brock brought it over when he was brought over in Doctor Strange's spell. So we know that's in the wild. We know the symbiote is in the wild in the MCU.
And how and one last thing too before that, and how this all ties back to Moon Knight is that during an event in the comics, right? It was the Maximum Carnage event, right? Or the big like full Null event, right? That happened. Moon Knight was a big, I can't say a huge distributor, but like the moon was a big thing in that book. So
you got to understand too is that you're dealing with ancient gods, and this ties right into exactly what Gore would be looking for.
Oh yeah,
are the Egyptians. Now it does tie into, I said, the Eternals is a lot of people are wondering how the introduction of the Egyptian gods being actual human beings, not based on mythology, not based on lore. These are they're real. Yeah. They are real. The gods exist in the mainland Marvel Cinematic Universe. We do know that the Norse gods exist. We do know now, based on the trailer, at least it's insinuated, that like we mentioned before, the Greek gods are in existence. So you have all these superior beings that oversee, plus one will assume that not only the Muslim, Christian, Catholic God Allah also exists in this thing, in this whole Marvel universe. Is you have the Eternals, which are supposed to be the true kind of, for the lack of a better term, guardians of making sure things stay on path in the universe. So, and you have the people have been asking like, how does this happen? You have the what do they call them? Not the
What
Eternals,
the
the things,
the Celestials.
the Celestials. You have Celestials. Like, how does this kind of work? And
Here's the thing about that for
comics,
all our comics and one Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby.
yeah,
It's this man. What Jack Kirby, when the original OGs, the OG, the godfather of the comic book industry, and the man who has quite literally inspired all of art today in the comic books, is
yeah,
because Jack Kirby. And originally, what Stan wanted to do with Jack was to make more like, oh, let's make more like, homegrown planet, people from our planet, right? What Jack wanted to do is like, nah, man, let's go crazy. Let's go out to space. Let's do these crazy zany things, or like just out to space and like time fair, or like, like that type of stuff, right? And so you have all of that, right? Literally the Celestials, the outer gods, the depictions of various gods. Like you literally have a tier list. There's literally a tier list of gods in the Marvel MCU of who is stronger than who. Like Zeus and Odin are quite literally on the same tier of godhood, called Skyfathers in Marvel. And I'm gonna get super nerdy now about it, because this is my shtick right here. And then
mhm,
you have the Celestials above them. There hasn't been a legitimate god, right? Like the Abrahamic god.
yeah,
Some people are gonna point that out. Oh, no, that's actually Stan Lee. That's Stan Lee or Jack Kirby, because you've seen that in Marvel the comics, right? The one above all, or the one or something, right? And usually that god is depicted as either Jack Kirby or Stan Lee. So again, it's gonna get weird. Don't go too crazy into it. Just know that it's just all comics. It's gonna be comics. It's comic stuff. It's fun, and it's supposed to be fun. Please, whatever depiction, whatever type of religious zealots, don't go crazy about wanting your view of God to be distinct. We don't need that. It's fine. It's just have fun with it. Like, just have fun with it. It's okay.
yeah. And so, as we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what your theories are. What do you think? What I love about this whole Moon Knight series is Ethan Hawke and the director and Oscar Isaac, who by the way is also a producer on the show,
Yeah.
has said
Yeah.
that they wanted to do something that did not need the kind of like, here, let me help you out, the little boost. They didn't need the boost of Thor and Captain America and whatnot. I don't think they've really even mentioned the blip
Nope.
in this. We
Nope.
do know, based on their placing on Disney Plus, that the show does take place at the end after the events of Hawkeye. We do know that in a later episode, I believe, a set photo showed that there is reference to Rogers the musical existing in London.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think, actually, I take it back. I think it's already been. I think it was in episode 1, much like I think it's in the set photos for Secret
Yeah,
War.
overall,
No, not
yeah,
Secret Wars. Secret Invasion.
yeah. Overall, it doesn't necessarily matter in the sense, because like we all know as fans going through, like when
Yeah.
they do that callback, it'll happen. It's just, I'm
Yeah.
happy that they're not handcuffed to this thing. Like, oh, you need to have
Yeah.
these people. That's what I'm
They
happy
are
about.
letting this thing breathe on its own. It's doing a great job. And if anything, like I just said, without even referencing it, without
Yeah.
even talking about, without even mentioning it, we immediately go like, oh shit, they're dealing with gods, they're dealing with all this stuff. Oh, that's gonna tie into Thor somehow. It could tie into this. And it's kind of fun. Like, it just kind of
Yeah.
naturally came about.
It's
So,
yeah.
and the same thing with the Eternals. Like,
Yeah, this is what happens when you properly do good world building over a
absolutely,
huge span of time. It's basically it, right? Because the second now you can have any director who's passionate enough to do whatever you give that person with. This is how, like, it can tie in easily, because you build up the world. right? And so yeah, this is quite literally 15 years in the making, right? Of these things making sense in this timeline now, or not 15, let's say about 13. Yeah, about 13, 15 years now, where it just makes sense for this stuff to happen. Now, granted, good segue into hopefully another conversation point sometime in a future episode. When you properly make universes or worlds and you do proper world building, it is a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
And having a combination of a great actor and a great director do that helps out tremendously. So the Batman just came out on HBO Max just recently. Your boy watched it finally.
I have not. I will be watching it this weekend.
I watched it twice. It's a 2.5. It's a 2 and 40 minute hour movie. It is the greatest Batman movie of all time.
Really?
For me, being a huge Batman fan, being a still, even though I roast the hell out of them, a great DC fan, like this is the most Batman movie. And people are gonna say, "Oh, that doesn't make it the greatest movie." People are of course gonna say Dark Knight, right? Dark Knight is gonna be the better movie because Heath Ledger's Heath Ledger. But for me, this is the greatest movie because it's just like how everything it's supposed to do. It was very, very, very it honored the source material. Good. Everything from the dialogue. Granted, yeah, the fighting could have been better, but I think they're going with the route of like him being very intimidating. This Batman is very intimidating. You're supposed to be scared of him, which I feel like the first Batman movie, Batman Begins, did pretty well, and then he just stopped doing that. Right after the first movie, they just stopped doing the whole fear factor type of thing, which I think that with Matt Reeves, amazing director by the way, and oh my god, what's his name? The actor,
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. What they're doing right now with him, great. Like who would have thunk that? Like I said before, that sparkly vampires make the best Batman. Like it's the truth. It's the truth, man.
He's waited over 20 years to grow into a bat. He is
DC's version of not Tobey Maguire. Who's the second Spider-Man?
Andrew Garfield.
He's that version. He's a fan, a literal fan, wanting to do the best. He's super into it. He's read a great portion of Detective Comics and Batman, and he links like the reason why the first Batman was because of Long Halloween and Batman Europa and a lot of books. I'm like, oh, he knows his shit. So like, yeah. Hopefully we talk about that next in the possible next podcast, guys. We're still gonna be talking about games because my dumbass broke my chair and some other stuff happened. So I've been kind of lacking, but then we'll get that soon, guys. So
real quick, wrap up. I will watch the Batman probably this weekend. I do want to give a couple of plugs out there, and I want to talk about it on a later episode. Maybe we'll do a full on binge show where we'll talk about shows that are out there, because I get messages and stuff like that all the time about like, when are you guys gonna talk about this? When are you gonna talk about that? Like we never talked about Peacemaker. We never really got to talk about Peacemaker.
True. We do. Actually, we kind of did. We kind of did.
Yeah, I think we lumped it into a regular show, which by the way is in our archives. But
hello, Moon Knight. How you doing there? We just got done watching you. We're just talking about you.
Oh, we got a Moon Knight. Look at that. Hello there. Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, by the way, love your show. It's great. Oscar, say hi. People are asking like, okay, how come we didn't do how come we're just doing the Disney shows? Blah blah blah. I'm like, because they're easy and they happen on a Wednesday and it fits our schedule. I want to talk about maybe another time. Talk about Halo. I think Halo needs to be talked about.
Okay.
As a whole, it's a very good show. It's very in depth. People ask like, does it pay homage to the video games? No. Why? It didn't need to. Okay. It took the characters. It took some of the stuff from the video game. It does play a little into the story. That's all I'll say. It's good. There's 4 episodes. I don't know how many are in the season, but it is, like I said, it's a good show. I'm also, your boy's gonna like this because I think he's already watching it because he bleeds the purple and gold. Winning Time on HBO Max, so good.
Oh man.
I know it's more sports related, but we are both sports fans. I think we'll talk about that.
I don't know
John
how much.
C. Riley deserves an
Yeah,
Emmy.
I don't know how much of sports is actually in the actual TV show, but it's there. Yeah, there's a lot of other extracurricular in that show, a lot of Hollywood, which is great to have, man. But yeah, great. I'm happy that you're doing great, man. Moon Knight, we
Yeah.
seeing about it
But
again.
yeah, we will talk about that. Like I said, I recommend Halo. It's on Paramount Plus if you have it.
Yeah, we'll talk
We
about
will talk about the Batman. I think will be the next big thing we talk about. But watch us every single Wednesday. Bookmark us, Twitch, Facebook Watch, YouTube. Set the little bell, ring it, subscribe it. We'll be here every Wednesday night for the foreseeable future. We do have Obi-Wan on the books for the
Mhm.
next series. We do have Miss Marvel.
Mhm.
It looks like She-Hulk is probably going to be closer to the end of the in the fall,
Yeah,
maybe in the
yeah.
end of the year. Also, reports saying that Mandalorian season 3 is going to hit this summer. Those apparently are not as true as first thought, so we might not be
Okay.
getting Mandalorian, but we do know that Andor is in the can, and there's a possibility we could get Andor. It's also a possibility that we could be seeing Secret Invasion very soon, and amongst other things this fall. But Disney, Marvel, they're jam packed. There's also
Yeah.
stuff on deck for Lucasfilms. Real quick, I want to end. I will end on this because this ties into your boy. This has
Mhm.
to, and this has to do with the next show we're going to talk about, which is
Okay.
Obi-Wan. It came out today on all the big comic book nerd websites.
Okay.
Hayden Christensen, who has not been seen in the Star Wars universe since Episode 3, says he to get ready for this role of replaying
Darth.
Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader.
Mhm.
He binged multiple times Clone Wars and Rebels, and said
Good.
he just absolutely loved it. And he goes,
Yeah,
"You will
man.
see essence of Rebels and
Good.
and Clone Wars version of Anakin Skywalker." In
Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. We can't end off of that. And, here's the thing about Hayden. I got love for the guy, and I know that the end of Episode 3 kind of left a sour taste in his mouth, right? To the point where like he didn't want to do Clone Wars because they asked him to do Clone Wars for voice acting
yeah,
for a long time.
people don't realize is that
He
he
was
did
asking
not voice Anakin.
because there was such. Well, this is also just just kind of shine a light on like how bad in a certain extent the Star Wars fandom was at the time, right? Because again, people hated the prequel sequels, right? But because of George Lucas being an amazing fucking perfectionist, he started Clone Wars, and what he wanted to do was get the original actors to voice the animated series. Of course,
Mhm.
it's impossible to get Natalie Portman. Oh my gosh, Obi-Wan, his actor's name.
Um, Ewan
But
McGregor.
him, Ewan McGregor, as well as Hayden Christensen to do their voice roles, right? And so it's easier for a budget wise to do that. But I'm telling you, man, Anakin's role throughout Clone Wars, the whole freaking thing, all 8. He's not really in seasons 6, and well, he's kind of there, but majority of his time shown in Clone Wars makes more sense when you watch Clone Wars and the prequel sequels together. Granted, the people are gonna say that they love more of the voice acting style and tough demeanor of I forgot the voice actor's name who voiced Anakin in the Clone Wars, because he sounded more militaristic and like more rough rather than soft throaty voice of Hayden Christensen.
Yeah,
But like it's very much like, dude, it makes more sense. His character makes more sense. He's the most tragic
yeah.
character in all of Star Wars. When you look
Absolutely.
at prequel sequels to Clone Wars to the end of the end of Episode 6, he's the most tragic character in all of Star Wars, and it was done beautifully. When you look at all, granted, you had to look through freaking 6 seasons of Clone Wars, but dude, it's perfect, and I'm happy that Hayden finally saw that, because like, dude, you could have been in that shit. You could. This is the stuff you wanted to do, bro. And so, yeah, I'm just happy that he sees that, man. And I'm gonna be even more happy when when people see that, when people who haven't touched Clone Wars finally sees that, yeah, any story can be a Star Wars story, and I'm just happy about it. I'm just happy. That's cool. That's great. That's my childhood coming back, like saying, yeah, cool, great, awesome.
Obi-Wan hits Disney Plus next month. We get the first 2 episodes, I think, in late May. Of course, we're just a few weeks away from Star Wars Day, which would have been a great lineup.
Is that 6 or 8 for episodes? I forgot. For Obi-Wan.
For Obi-Wan, I believe it's at least 6. Moon Knight is 6, like you mentioned before. There's 2 episodes left. Same thing with Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
I think no. You know what it is? Mandalorian was 9 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll see. I don't think there's an official run left.
Which is fine.
So, anyways, guys, thank you so much. Real quick, if you want to get involved with us during the week, we're going to post some more stuff. I've been posting some stuff on social media, some more stories and stuff. Twitter, PS Comics I Love, the letter U, PS Comics I Love You, and on Facebook and Instagram. Search us out, PS Comics I Love You on YouTube, PS Comics I Love You on Twitch.tv.
Yep.
You can find us wherever podcasts are available: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Anchor.fm, just to name a few. And of course, the home of all podcasts, iHeartRadio.
Yeah, I just can't wait till we finally see Moon Knight versus Dracula somewhere in there. I'm gonna love it.
Something's gonna happen. They have to reference something.
Oh my god, I'm gonna freaking love.
Where we'll find out. Yeah,
dude, just yeah, absolutely. Moon Knight versus Dracula with Blade in the background and fighting against Werewolf by night, dude. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But thanks, guys. Thank you very much for just.
We will see what happens. I'm Kevin Pillow at Voice of Reason 23. He's JR Kambakungan, at also not JR Comics 42. JR, thank you so much. Go fix your chair. Maybe we'll put some of those pictures on Instagram. Dude got swole. Dude actually did leg day and he crushed his chair.
Dude, yeah. It's I need to buy a chair like now though. So I guess.
All right, guys, have a good night. We'll see you.